like a good spot to fill my canteen for today's hike, for part 2. Let me get this out of here. My canteen unwrapped, and of course the water's moving kind of fast and it's kind of silty today, so I'm going to stuff my bandana in there and filter out sediments. See, I just stuff it in there nice and deep so I can hang on to it with my fingers. And stuff it in the moving water. Wait till it fills. Well, it's getting there. It doesn't fill as fast when the bandana's in there because it's got to filter through the material. Alright. Now, because I can usually go through a gallon of water on a 10-mile hike when in 90-degree weather, and this is only a 2-quart canteen, which is half a gallon, I'm going to drink a quart now and then refill it. That'll at least give me 3 quarts for the day. Oh, it's not quite as full as I want it. It's only going up to about the quart mark, so I'm going to come over here where the water's a little deeper. Hopefully I'm not off the film or off camera. Right. Put it all back together. Once my bandana is soaked, I don't usually put it back inside the case because I don't want it to get all wet and moldy in there. I want it to dry, so I wring it out and I just attach it to the outside. It'll be dry pretty quick. Just your basic cotton bandana, they don't hold water too well. There you go, that's tied on there good. And now, just put it back in the case. And we'll be off. Now last time we were over here, the battery went dead right after this, so you didn't get to see the whole rest of the hike. So today in part 2, I'm going to pick up where we left off. And we'll go over back by the waterfall, and I'll show you the bottom of the scenic overlook, and I'll continue down Sawmill Creek. All right, thank you. All right, so we're gonna go down this little trail up here now, and that'll lead us back to the waterfall. And come along with me, we'll get to the other side and keep going. You can hear the train in the background. And it's loud, but the thing's like a mile away, maybe a mile and a half from here. There we go. Did you hear that woman? I was walking across the rocks. She said that was crazy. All right. This old cottonwood here. I know it's cottonwood because I've been making bow drills out of pieces of it for a while now. All the bark stripped off of it, and I took all of it for its tinder. Alright guys, so I'm over here by this big giant cottonwood tree. I know this because I remember when it was alive. It's since died and all the bark fell off, and I of course, I harvest as much of the bark as I could for bird's nest material when I make my bow drills, and I made plenty of bow drills out of the wood off this guy too. I don't know if his wood is any good. It's starting to rot. As you can see here, it's not good bow drill material anymore. But if you look on the ground, you can see all the pieces of bark that fell off of it, and a lot of them, like this guy here, still has really good material for the inside of your bird's nest. This will take a spark really good. It'll catch an ember, and you could blow it in a flame real easy. So whenever I see this material, I practice a forage as I go kind of mentality. So whenever I see this material, I always, that fucking hurt. I always grab it when I can, and I peel all the good stuff out of it, and I put it in my pocket for making my bird's nest later down the road. Now that's hardly enough material, but I keep collecting things. Here, this is really good too right here. Look at that. That dried up roots make great bird's nest material, because the fine stuff really catches the spark or coaxes the ember, and then this thicker stuff catches really good. So we're gonna grab that too. As you can see, I'm starting to get something bigger for a better bird's nest. So I'm gonna stuff that in my pocket before I go. Now let's come over here. You can see there's still some bark on the tree. This stringier stuff is probably the better stuff. I'm going to leave all this here so I can harvest it at a later date. I have more than enough now. I'd rather conserve my resources. This is only temporary. This thing's going to fall down eventually, I'm sure. Wouldn't be surprised if the forest preserve actually takes it down before it falls on somebody. It was a grand tree at one time. I don't know what the heck happened to it. I remember when this sucker was alive. Looks like there's another one back here. The same thing's happening to it. All the bark's falling off. All right, guys, as you can see behind me, we've got that scenic overlook that I promised to show you in part 1 of the video when I was coming up to the waterfall. This is it from the bottom piece here. It's a gorgeous spot. I'm going to come back around around these thorn bushes and get out in the open a little more. We're going to talk about this little creek in there too. It's a very essential little creek for so far as my navigation goes. Like I said in the other video, as beautiful as this is, I miss it when it was in its natural state. It was much more challenging to get across. There's a big tree that had fallen down. You had to climb over that, and all these rocks were all mud, and there's a thin trail that required a little bit more challenge to get to get across it. I kind of miss that. All right, let's get around. I want to get around this bend, and I want to pull the map out and show you some stuff. I just came up from down in here, and we're going to continue following Sawmill Creek till we get past the bends. It's gorgeous here. Gonna we're climbing up to the top of the ridge. This all got washed down. It didn't used to be as big as that. Here. All right. I guess this is as good a spot as any. You can see how the creek runs pretty much in this direction. I'm going to use this as my datum line. Get the maps on the ground now, and we'll show you what I mean by that. So, right now I get some gear off here, and got our compass here. This is an old-fashioned Silva compass made in Sweden. It's not one of the new pieces of junk that Johnson Outdoor has. It's an original. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to get my homemade wool hoodie off too, because it's getting hot out here. Now what I want to do, take my map out. First, put my microphone where it belongs. But let's get the map out. This is just a regular park map. Here, it's got you can see it has the Argonne National Lab in the middle, and the area that I'm in, that I'm practicing in and do all my hikes and stuff, surrounds the Argonne National Lab. Now there's some important things that we need to know about this map, but first, whenever you're working with your map, you always want to make sure that it's oriented towards north. So what I'm going to do here, maybe a little arrow that says north, which is parallel to the side of the map. So I'm going to want to spin this guy around, I guess it looks like. Voila. Alright, we're oriented to north now. Anything I can stick in the map? Let me orient me to north. Now, the area that we're in, right here, I don't know if you can see where it says Waterfall right there. We just came around these little bends, and we're pretty much right underneath that word Waterfall. And as you can see from the north end of this map, it kind of wiggles around a little bit, but all the way down to where it hooks up to the Des Plaines River, which kind of runs southwest, we have the Sawmill Creek. Now what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about a datum line and what a datum line is. A datum line is a natural feature or a man-made feature that runs from one end of your map to the other. It can be a real feature, or it could be a virtual feature, like an imaginary line between the peaks of two hilltops. In this case, we have several, and as you can see down here, this one would be my central datum line because it runs right through the center of my map. And then over here, even though it runs on an angle and it's not purely north-south, the Des Plaines River is my southern datum line. Now my navigational system is based on the concept that I'm already lost and don't exactly know where I am. So what I want to do is I want to establish these datum lines and these points of reference ahead of time. That way, when I get out there and I don't know where I am, it's easy for me to just walk in one direction or another until I hit one of my datum lines and then follow it back to a known point of reference. So here, again, we're here. The waterfall is my known point of reference. I know how to get to my car from here. And I know that my central datum line is here. So if I am on this side, which I am, I can go anywhere in this area. It doesn't even matter if I know where I'm at or not, okay? And all I have to do is head straight east until I hit my datum line. Now, if worst comes to worse, I either try and guess whether I'm north or south of my original point, and I walk that way till I realize I'm too far. In this case, if I hit the expressway, I know I went too far that way. Or if I come back down here and I hit the Des Plaines River, I know that I went too far that way and have to turn around and go the other way. I call these backstops or backboards because these are points of reference that tell me that I've already gone too far. Now, in a case where I'm using multiple datum lines, where I've got my central datum line and my southern datum line, no matter where I am out here, no matter where I am, I know that if I head in a southeasterly direction, I'll hit one of my datum lines. In this case, the more south I go, the more likely I am to hit the Des Plaines River, which flows this way. So long as I know I'm on this side of Sawmill Creek and that side of the Des Plaines River, it doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter if I know where I'm at, because I know that I can just head in a straight line, hit the Des Plaines River, follow it upstream until I hit Sawmill Creek, follow that upstream until I get back to the waterfall, and from there it's an easy walk back to my car. On this map, by the way, we are parked right here, and we came around this way, and then we came down, and I'm going to continue down here. We're going to follow Sawmill Creek today, and then maybe come back up the other side and call it quits because it is kind of late. Another quick point here, these railroad tracks can also be used as a datum line, but I prefer, so can the roads, I prefer to use natural features whenever possible because I consider every time I'm out here training for a larger, greater wilderness hike where man-made features won't be available. So with that, I'm going to shut my cool little cameras off, and we're going to get walking. Quick little note about this section here. I'm going to back up on the path a little bit so you can see how this path goes right off the edge and then it suddenly makes a right angle. Well, years ago this path used to go right out here and right across that way and back in on the other side, and over time, due to rainstorms and trees that were rooted in here that fell over, this whole thing mudslided down into the creek, and it all got washed away. So now I actually started making this path right here years ago, and everyone follows it. But you have to be careful. I don't know if I can see it. I'll show you here. You can see how it undercuts. You know, the mudslide undercuts. If you walk on the shelving above that undercut, it can collapse under your weight. So I want to make sure that as much of the path as I can, either I've previously checked it for no undercut like that edge over there, or it's far enough back from the edge so that I'm away from that undercut, because to have the lip of this break away and fall down there is gonna really suck. Down we go here. Starting to come down off the ridge now. And we're just going to continue following our central datum line here. All right, I'm gonna just shut the camera off. As you can see, we've got a ways to go. There's a bridge on the other side. I'll turn the camera back on when we get over there. We'll talk about that a little bit. And I'll do a map check at that point, and I'll show you some interesting features about our map versus what's really on the ground here. I hope you can see way down in there. This camera's more for close-ups than it is for distance range shots like that. Oh, what the hell is this? Someone's sticking sticks in the antholes. Yeah, I don't know if you could see the scenery behind me because it's such a short depth of field camera, but right on the other side of that, where the river goes straight, that's where our bridge is. So we're gonna take this path that way. Come on. Used to go through here, but the tree fell down, and it looks like it's kind of turned around now. You know, go around the tree and all that. Let's see what's through here. All right, the rest of this is just this kind of trail. Everyone's seen this in the first video when I was walking in. And not this trail, but it's the same kind, you know. So I'm going to shut the filming off till we get up a little farther. All right, we're starting to come out on the open here. So you guys to see how it opens up in a little bit of a prairie. There's a larger path. I don't think that path is on the map. And I know there's a bridge over here. What I'll probably do is we'll get to the bridge and then we'll do a map check. I want to probably cross that bridge today, get to the other side, and head on down to the second little bridge. At that point, I think we'll have enough film, and I'll either continue my hike or, you know, turn around and head home. So here's how we're coming out. It opens up here. Those tan-colored pieces of grass, they make great kindling, or I'm sorry, great tinder bundle material for either bow drill fires or kerosene rod fires. Like you can see, we got a whole bunch of it here. I just like to come through and scoop it up in little bits like that till I got a, here, I'll show you again. Scoop it up in little bits like that until I got a big bird's nest. And of course, like my other stuff, I just stuffed that in my pocket till I'm ready to make a fire. I'm a big believer in foraging as you go. I also forage food as I go, you know, what few little plants I know. So out in this open area here, we're going to be going to the bridge. Oh, what the hell is this? Bridge closed, huh? we regret any inconvenience. Well, that's okay. I can always take this path continue along the ridge along the side of Sawmill Creek, but I don't really want to do that because I wanted to cross. So let's go investigate this bridge and see how badly it's closed, okay? Down the hill we go. I've got wood barricading my frickin' bridge. Look at this. Same sign that they had before. What the hell is wrong with the bridge? You see any, like, let's get underneath it and see what we have. Alright, it looks alright. There's a little bit of rust on the ends of some of these support beams, but it's pretty anchored solid into the concrete. The main beam going across looks solid. Being that the steel worker was my job, I can look at this. The foot plates are all in good shape. Hell, there's no reason why this can't be crossed. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm telling you, my poor finger wasn't injured. I don't know if you guys can see how deformed it is. And the tip got almost chopped off last year, and the bones aren't connected. It's all flexible and pliable, so I'm under doctor's orders not to put any kind of excessive stress and limited to light duty work. You know, I'm actually afraid that if I climb and I spike it too much, pain will make me let go and I'll fall. So I can't climb this bridge. Although, if I was healthy at work, we climb stuff like this only like 5 times higher all the time. It's not that big of a deal. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to get across this bridge, across the water, a different way today. Either that or just continue, maybe continue on that way, over here, or take the path up by the ridge and cross at the little bridge. All right, so we're looking at the map here. You can see it's fairly oriented north, and we have come down our central datum line. Now, I happen to know that we're right here because this trail comes down and extends to the bridge, and then the other trail that's off, that's not on the map, is right behind it. And you can see this trail right here. That's that long one coming up like that, and that comes around to the bridge. But on the map, it ends at the top of the hill way up there. So if I wanted to go out now and just head off in random directions and explore out in here, I could just wander around loose all I want, all in this area. I don't even have to know where I am. All I need to know is that I am west of Sawmill Creek and north of the Des Plaines River. Oh, the heck is that little guy? I don't know. He's got to get off my... There. See, he lived. I didn't kill him. And that's the beauty of datum lines. By having a nice, long, natural feature, we always have a point of reference where we can get ourselves unlost, self-rescue, if you will. The best thing is to have a central datum line and one along either the bottom or the top of the map that intersect. Because now, no matter where I am on this side of the map, I can either head straight east and then follow Sawmill Creek down to where it intersects here, and then obviously from here I know where to go. Or I can go straight south and follow the Des Plaines River back upstream to Sawmill Creek and then back up to the waterfall. And of course, I know where I am at the waterfall and how to get back to my car. So that's pretty much how we use our datum lines to keep ourselves from getting lost. And again, like I said at the beginning of this video, the whole reason why I use a datum line is because I assume that I'm lost at all times and don't fully know where I am. So the use of a datum line allows me to at least narrow myself down into a fairly large area. And if I'm truly lost in that area, I know that I can head in a relative direction, in our map's particular case, south or east, and I will hit one of my datum lines, and I will be able to quite literally bumble my way home from there. Once you hit an intersecting datum lines where two intersect, now you're golden, because you can definitely navigate a plot back to your car. Or in this case, if I come up here, I know that I am east, or I'm on this side of Sawmill Creek, and I'm downstream from the waterfall. So no matter where I go out in this whole vast area, and I know it looks smaller on the map, but no matter where I go, I can wander around out here completely lost for hours. And as long as I don't hit Argonne, which is over there, or the Des Plaines River, I could be completely lost and just go in one direction and hit one of my datum lines and find my way in. Now obviously the very large datum lines you have, the better. And if we were in a hillier area, I would show you how to do a virtual datum line, where it's an invisible line that's created by sighting the connection between two large landmarks, like two large hills, or like in this case here, we can see a hill here, and we could kind of see the top of a hill way over there, and it won't really work because of the woods in this area, so we need bigger hills, which we don't have. But just to kind of get the concept, the imaginary line that connects those two hills can be our datum line, so long as we can get somewhere and see the peak of that hill and the peak of that hill. We know we're on our datum line, and we can find our way back from there. Looks like my bandana's pretty much dry, except for right in the area where the knot was. Let's lay that out. That's a cool little spot in here. I love this area. Some good water. The water of that little creek is just awesome. I mean, I've had some pretty nasty tasting water, but that's really good stuff over there. I think I dozed off for quite a while. Well, I had my afternoon nap, and it looks like I was talking when the other camera cut out, so who knows how far I got off with my little speech. But I had a nice, refreshing, long sleep here out in the woods, and now I'm going to go across that little bridge, and time to head home, head to the truck. It's dinner time. I'm starving, and there's a nice vegetable barley soup calling me.